Okay, pre-cal, we have arrived at Unit 4. Can you believe how fast the year is going? It's crazy. All right, so in your 4.1 videos, we are going to focus on exponential function graphs. So this is going to be several videos, of course. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is what an exponential function is. Well, it is a function, obviously, in the form of f of x equals b to the x power, where b is called the base, and b is not equal to 1. All right, so b is any other number other than 1. Okay, so let me show you what this is going to look like. There are two ways we can graph exponential functions. When we have f of x equals b to the x and b is greater than 1. So in other words, I have an example, or I have an equation that looks something like this. Like, let's say I've got f of x of 2 to the x, or 3 to the x, or something like that, okay? Any number that is greater than 1. That is the situation I'm looking at. Well, what that looks like on a graph, it goes through the y-axis at 0, 1, and it increases to the right, okay? It's going to look just like that. The domain is going to be all real numbers. The range is going to be from 0 to positive infinity because it's just this top half here. The x-intercept, there will be none. The y-intercept is always going to be at 0, 1. The end behavior, as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches 0. And as x approaches positive infinity, y is going to approach positive infinity. We do have an asymptote at y equals 0. That is the x-axis. We are not decreasing at all from left to right, but we are increasing from negative infinity to positive infinity. We're increasing steadily the whole time. All right, the other situation you could have is if f of x equals b to the x, where b is less than 1 but greater than 0. In other words, it's a fraction. So something like this might look like this, like 1/2 to the x, or 0.3 to the x, or something like that. All right, so some decimal between 0 and 1. All right, so what would this look like graphically? Well, for this one, it's still going to go through 0, 1, but this time it's going to do this. All right? Okay, so what's my domain? Still the same. Still covering all the positive and negative values. The range is still 0 to positive infinity. There is still no x-intercept. The y-intercept is still 0, 1. My end behavior now, as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches positive infinity. As x approaches positive infinity, y now approaches 0. We do have an asymptote at y equals 0 again, which is the x-axis. It is decreasing from left to right, so negative infinity to positive infinity, and it is not increasing at all. So this is your basic exponential graph information. This is what all of your basic exponential functions are going to look like. They're either going to rise to the right or rise to the left, depending on what value you have for your base. All right, in the next video, we're going to look at some examples.